Oh yeah, rowing's back.
Attention.
What is going on, rowing community? My name is Justin Best, and it has been a while since I last uploaded a video. As you can see in the background, a few things have changed. So what's going on? Well, I got a fantastic paying job, I bought myself a new Empacher single, I got myself a new car, brand new house. Just kidding, none of that happened. I actually got mask acne from wearing my mask all the time, but I am still training and I got a haircut. So that's cool. The past couple of months, I continued to train. I did actually move into a new place, so I am in a new housing setup, and I'm still training with the full intent on with the goal of making the Tokyo Olympic team. And as far as YouTube goes, I already got all of my videos copyright striked because I subscribe to Adobe Stock, and you get access to a bunch of different awesome background music. For whatever reason, my subscription did not work, and so literally all of my videos got striked. And I kind of felt like I got ripped off a little bit. With everything going on in the world, things are kind of don't feel normal anymore, but rowing is back. Well, it's kind of back. In very limited capacity in only certain countries and certain states in the United States, and with certain social distance protocols and all that, but I digress. Rowing is back, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. I talked about how I wanted to make this channel just commenting on racing and some analysis with the European Under-23 Championships, the European Junior Championships already having taken place, and the upcoming European Senior Championships. Figured I'd just kind of go over some of the race results and then talk about some of the entries for the upcoming race. Also figure I'd talk about some of the stuff going on domestically within the United States. So we're starting off abroad in Duisburg. How to pronounce Duisburg?
Duisburg.
Duisburg. Cool. So the 2020 European U23 Championships took place in Duisburg, Germany. And that happened on the 5th and 6th of September. As of right now, I haven't seen any media or news covering that there was a passing of the virus at the regatta, so that gives hope. There were social distancing measures from what I could see on the media. I wasn't there personally to be like, that is 100% exactly what happened, but on the medal ceremonies, athletes were wearing masks. Now, unfortunately, World Rowing didn't really upload the results on their page. It looked like they had the local organizing committee of the regatta do all of the results. So doing some more research, they just have an entire PDF of every single result. Not even every single result, only 3 results. What the heck? Usually World Rowing has a more interactive interface on their website, so you can kind of see the splits and whatnot. They totally didn't do that, which is fine. I'd rather have rowing in some form than in no form at all, so just want to talk about some of the standouts that we saw in the men's pair, Romania. I don't know what they do in Romania, and it's really impressive. They just take, I guess, these kids, and then they start in like small boats, and they're dominant in small boats. They won the men's pair, the men's 4, they took silver in the men's 8, but really impressive stuff out of Romania. The Syncovic Brothers of Croatia took silver in the men's pair. They were previous junior world champions. And I do also want to point out that Germany, the women's 8, upset the Romanian women's 8 in the under-23 race. I also want to point out the women's pair. The Romanians flipped the script on the Greek reigning U23 world champions. So very interesting results out of that. Ronan Byrne of Ireland, who took silver in the senior men's double at the last year's 2019 World Championships with his doubles partner, Philip Doyle. He was up rowing with another Row Ireland athlete, and they took the gold medal. Ronan and his doubles partner are also entered in the Senior European Championships upcoming next week. Moving on to the European Junior Championships that took place in Belgrade, Serbia, I do want to say something is going on in Romania junior and under 23 rowing, because they took so many gold medals. I think aside from the junior men's 8, they were on top of the podium. for the junior women's pair, the junior men's pair. They really cleaned up. I'll put the graphic that I saw from World Rowing in the top corner right here. Just look at that gold medal percentage. That is unbelievable. The European Championships being held in Poznan, Poland from the 9th to the 11th of October. The entries are out, and let's take a look at them. Hopefully they'll have the full results lists like they normally do, so that you don't have to go to the local organizing committee and translate it from Polish to find the results of each of the races, but we'll see. With COVID, I don't know exactly what World Rowing is doing as far as media, but without further ado, let's get into what entries we have. Okay, so I'll start with some of the Olympic boat classes because this is technically an Olympic year leading up to the 2020 Olympic Games, which are now being held in 2021 for obvious reasons. So it will be interesting to see teams that haven't qualified yet in Europe trying to put together crews to qualify at the final qualification regatta that will happen sometime next spring. But also crews that have already qualified will be entering, trying to get their racing done, because there has been no racing at all this season so far. So we'll start with the men's singles. This should be a pretty good event. Let's see. Yep, got Demir Martin from Croatia. The silver medalist from the 2016 race against Mahe Drysdale came down to such a small margin. And hot take here, that guy got robbed. They do ties in swimming where you're in a controlled body of water that has exact measurements, whereas a 2,000 meter race, oh come on, give me a break. That should have been a split gold medal, but I'll get off my soapbox for that one. Anyways, we have, so this is interesting. Jakub Podrazil, the Czech sculler, he was rowing a Czech pair. I don't think that they qualified for the Tokyo Olympics, but what he did announce was he was going to be rowing with legendary single sculler from the Czech Republic, Andrej Synek. Synek is nowhere to be seen, and Jakub is entering the single. I don't have any information on that. That could be injury or just personal. He just didn't want to enter. But I thought that that was an interesting point, so it'll be interesting to see how Jakub Podrazil does. He is a world indoor champion. He came to the United States and won in 2017 or 2018 for the World Indoor Championships. Guy pulled a massive time on the ergometer. We'll see if it translates to the water. Let's see. We have Denmark's Sverre Nelson. He was the silver medalist at last year's World Championship. Will be interesting to see how he does and see how quick he's gotten. Yeah, there we go. Ollie Zeidler, current reigning world champion and rowing phenom, just absolutely lit up the rowing world. Will be great to see how he does as he has spent a lot of time. I've seen on social media that he's really trying to improve his technical ability in the single, especially when it comes to choppy water. I personally have raced at Poznan. Sometimes it is flat, but a majority of the times there are some choppy conditions that you have to deal with in either a headwind or a tailwind. Natander Vergricky, Zimzik, that's a name. Poland, hometown favorite. He was at the 2016 Olympics too, in the single again. For Poland, I think he got first in the B final. He is entered. And then, of course, we have Kjetil Borch, the bronze medalist at the 2019 World Championships. He took gold at the 2018 World Championships in the single. I think it's gonna be an epic battle, and we'll see who comes out on top. Okay, moving on. Next one, we're just gonna go for the men's pair. Of course, we have the reigning world champions, the Syncovic Brothers. They were the Olympic gold medalists in the double. Decided to switch to sweep rowing because that was not challenging enough, obviously. And they have been very successful. They took silver at the 2017 World Championships in Sarasota, Florida. Got sprinted through by the Italians at that race, but they managed to come back, win it in 2018, win it very definitively in 2019. They're looking to continue that success at the international level. I'm assuming they want to win this one having good momentum into the spring racing season, and then also good momentum going into Tokyo. Denmark, interesting. They've been pretty active on social media. I've seen posts coming out about them. A Cal and Princeton rower, both the American University graduates, and they decided to pair up. I guess one of them was in the 4, or they were both in the 4, but now they're both in the pair. It should be interesting to see how they do. Spain, Jamie Pezos and Javier Ordonez. I think I said those names correctly. Apologize if I did say them incorrectly. They were both in the A final at the last year's World Championships. They're very, very excited to try and get on the podium at this Europeans. They're pretty active on social media, so I follow along with them and see how their training is going, and it will be interesting to see how they do. The French, the Untitled Brothers, pretty consistent with their A final appearances, not so much consistent on the podium. It'll be interesting to see if they can get the coveted podium finish. And the Netherlands. So this pair, I know Nicky van Sprang was going for the double, and then for whatever reason there was an injury or something of that sort. You can follow along. He's pretty active on social media, on his Instagram, but he tried out for the pair, was named as the pair with his pair partner. Not even gonna try and pronounce that one. So, and so now they're going for the pair, and we'll see how they do. And Italy, Giuseppe Vicino, Matteo Lotto. If you don't follow Giuseppe Vicino and you like looking at cringy TikToks, I definitely suggest it. If not, oh well. He makes some interesting TikToks. But Italian pair at it. They were gold medalists in 2017. Haven't seemed to be able to reproduce that type of magic when it counts. But in last year's World Championships, they had to re-race their semi-final to get to the final, so they had an extra race in their legs come the A final, and it was kind of a flat performance almost. They didn't really have their gumption that they normally do through the middle 1,000, but it will be interesting to see how they do with the European Championships. Another interesting thing to point out, the Serbian men's pair, Viktor Pivac and Veselin Savic, are not the pair that qualified for the Tokyo Games at the 2019 World Championships. I don't know why that they aren't entered, but I know Viktor Pivac is a University of Washington alumni, a Husky oarsman, so they'll be looking to put up a really strong fight in the pair. I don't have any information on the pair that did qualify for the Tokyo. Potentially they just didn't want to race. That's fine, there's a global pandemic going on, but interesting with the pairs. Let's get into the men's double sculls. Alright, we'll start off with Germany. So I picked Germany specifically because they have an awesome Instagram series going on called Skulls. It's a really, really high quality documentary type film based on the process leading up to selection for their sculling events, so the double, quad, and then the single with Holly Zeidler in it. And it's a really well done documentary series, so they have Mark Webber and Stefan Krueger entered. It'll be interesting to see how they do. I think that they're a pretty strong crew based on everything. I know Mark Webber won at the 2019 World Under-23 Championships in Sarasota in the single. And Stefan Krueger is a multiple-time Olympian, and it will be interesting to see if they do well. It was a shakeup from last year's World Championship crew that qualified, but they were very clear that they didn't do as well as they wanted to. Mentioned this crew earlier, the Ronan Byrne and Dare Lynch combination out of Ireland. This is not the crew that won the silver at the 2019 World Championships in the men's double. This is Ronan, half of it. I believe Philip Doyle, for whatever reason, is not going to be racing. He's going back to work as a doctor, so, you know, props to him to help his country with COVID, but they are racing this combination at the European Championships. The Swiss double are comprised of Barnaby Delars and Roman Rolissi. Apologize if I pronounce any of these names incorrectly. I know Barnaby Delars went 540 flat on the C2 ergometer. That is unbelievable watts. So it will be interesting to see how they do. They were out of the medals last year in this event at the World Championships. I do believe that they will be an A final contender at least in this one, potentially pushing for a podium. They are a seasoned crew, and I think that they will do well, and it will be up to the results to see. Let's go into the men's 4 entry. All right. So an interesting group in the men's 4. There will be no GB at any of these, entered in any of these events. So no Great Britain Straight 4, no Great Britain Sculling Squad or 8. So we have Germany, comprised of Felix Wimberg, Nicholas Rolf Schroeder, Paul Gebauer, and Max Planner. Max Planner is very, very active on social media, so give him a follow if you see him pop up on your feed. He has a pretty cool podcast. It's in German. Obviously he's German, so that's what he speaks. But really, really positive guy. He went through a very, very horrible injury in the past, and it's just good to see him back and rowing at an international competitive level. And you can look on his Instagram for more information on all of that. Italy always comprises some really fast straight 4s. Yeah, so an unchanged crew from the 2019 World Championships, and just looking at their splits and their speed, it does seem like they were up and in contention for the medals, and then just in the last 500, GB pushed them enough, and the young Romanians also did, so they were just out of the medals, but I do expect them to be a very fast crew pushing for a podium finish. Here's their race profile, and they took silver at the 2019 World Championships. These guys are young, they're younger than I am, which is absolutely insane, but they really, really move the boat well together as a unit. So I do anticipate them being in the A final, trying to contend for the podium, and we will see with the conditions in Poland how they do. Then, of course, not gonna miss the hometown favorites of Poland. So Poland won the World Championships last year. This crew, I do believe, is also unchanged. 4 guys, and they are the reigning world champions. I would really think they would like to capture the European Championships on their home waters, because it is in Poznan. So will be a really hot event in the men's 4 as far as top speed. All right, let's go to the men's quad sculls. So we have Germany entered. So this crew, also you can follow them along in sculls, like I mentioned in the double. The multiple Olympians, Carl Schultz is a 2-time Olympic champion, Hans Gruen a 2-time Olympic champion in this event. Tim Olinoska stroking, a lot of pedigree in this crew. So look, I'm sure they're looking to be on the podium at least, if not win the entire event. Then we have Italy. Now Italy changed up their lineups from last year's World Championships in this boat class. They brought in, I think, 2 new guys. I could be wrong about that, but it does look like Giacomo Gentili and Luca Rambaldi are still in the crew from last year, and then Simone Venier and Luca Giumento, that's probably, maybe, are the new crew members for this. So then, of course, we have the reigning world champions, the silky smooth Dutch rowers. If you haven't seen them rowing, go watch them rowing. It is just what sculling should look like. Just very, very horizontal, smooth control, and really, really powerful as well. So they have the best of all the combinations, and definitely take a look at that crew. Here we have another unchanged crew, Poland, the hometown favorites again, because it is in Poznan. They are silver medalists from the 2019 World Championships. I believe they are looking to reverse that, make that a gold, and defend in their home country. This is their home turf. So it will be cool to see Poland go up against the Netherlands and Italy with their new strength in the boat, Germany with their reshuffle, and I don't want to discount any other crews. Obviously, Romania is always a solid force, Russia, always someone to look at. Now we're going to the Blue ribbon event, the men's 8. GB is not entered here. So this is kind of a small field because it is only Europeans. But we have the reigning world champions, the 3-time world champions, the German 8. They made a small crew shift and change with that. They did make a small crew change, but it has largely stayed the same, and a couple of reshuffles in the boat. There is the Dutch crew, I believe, also went completely unchanged from the silver medal 2019 crew. It'll be interesting between those two crews to see the really good battle that will ensue. Again, I'm not discounting Italy or the Romanians, both really solid crews that I'm sure will put up a good fight. But if I had to put my money on the race, it would be between the Dutch and the Germans again. It will be such a cool thing to watch, and I am excited for the men's 8. And we'll go to the lightweight men's double sculls to round out the Olympic boat classes for the men for the European Championships. And we have a big field for the lightweight doubles. As always, it's a very competitive event. We have the Germans. They are the reigning silver medalists. Jason Osborne, an absolute monster. He's a really solid cyclist. They'll be looking to try and take that gold. Italy, Pietro Ruda and Stefan and Oppo. Pietro Ruda made the transition from the lightweight men's 4 into the lightweight double after the 2016 Olympics, knowing that the lightweight men's 4 would get cut from the Olympics, which inevitably did happen. So, and then also there is a notable lack of the Irish lightweight men's double. The O'Donovan combination, they, I guess, decided not to enter the double. I do believe one of them is racing in the lightweight men's single, so it will be cool to see him and how he does by himself. It's so hard to tell with lightweight men's doubles because the margins come down to such small increments that an A finalist one day could be a B finalist the next day. But Justin, what about the things going on in the United States? There's nothing going on in the United States in terms of 6-lane, 6-across racing, but there is racing that is happening throughout the country, and it's really cool to see some of the things that are coming out of the COVID-19 situation, like singles regattas. HereNow.com has results from all the Head of the Kevin races. As far as other races goes, there are virtual Head of the Charles, virtual Head of the Schuylkill, and virtual Head of the Hooch races that will be occurring. Essentially, you do a piece on your own body of water, you take a screenshot or you upload your GPS data based on your stroke coach, and then that is how your results is counted. I will be entering the Head of the Charles virtual regatta for the single. It'll be a fun time in the celebration of rowing, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a good challenge that's coming up sometime later on in October. Let me know what you guys have been up to in the past few months with everything developing as it has been. Have you been taking time off? Are you still training as hard as you were during the beginning of the spring season? Are you hitting any PRs or in any measurements of fitness, whether it's even erging, running, or biking? Hopefully there will be more rowing events as we know more about this virus and know more ways to conduct these regattas safely. But for right now, I think that's all. If you enjoyed anything in this video, please feel free to leave a thumbs up. Please also feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.